So I thought you were working on the handbook.
I'm multitasking.
Oh, okay. You know what I tell my students when they say they're multitasking in class? You might want to guess what I tell my students when they say they're capable of multitasking.
Okay, I'm actually not because I can't concentrate on the handbook
Because
while
of
I'm
me.
checking attendance. But now I'm going back to it.
Do you know anybody want to guess what I tell my students when they say they're multitaskers? So research says that nobody can multitask really, because when you multitask, what are you doing? You're splitting your attention between two tasks, at least two, right? Are you putting 100% into the task that you should be paying attention to? For instance, if you are wiring a house, do I want that guy doing the plumbing at the same time he's wiring the house? Right? No, right? I mean, that's not a good thing, right? I want him to focus his abilities on wiring that house to the best of his ability and then do the plumbing later, right? Or have somebody else do the plumbing. Or another example, if you're fixing my car, if you're repairing my car, do I want you watching TV at the same time? No. I want you focused on my vehicle because I don't want it to break down again when I'm driving, right? So that's what I tell my students when they're on their cell phone or something in class, as opposed to like yelling at them to tell them to get off the cell phone. I say, all right, look, you're only in here for 50 minutes. I want you to focus on this, and then you can spend time doing that. So it doesn't always work, but that's what I try to do. So we're
Rodney,
supposed to talk.
hold on a minute. After hearing that, I have a whole bunch of irrigation I need to go turn off at the farm because I don't want to multitask during your meeting here.
Well, your irrigation system you should have on a timer, shouldn't you?
That is going to be my first task here, is to get this irrigation automated, because when I walked in and there was no timer, I about had a heart attack.
Yeah, it's a work smarter, not harder, right? So, and that's what I tell my students, like, work smart, work really hard, work smart on this task, and then if you focus on that, it'll take you a lot less time to do it, and then you can have that time to do something else, maybe that you enjoy more. So, um, so anyway, thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed yesterday. I hope you learned some stuff yesterday. We're going to continue today with step 2 in what I think of in great teaching. So yesterday we talked about names. That's step 1. You got to learn your students' names. Step 2, I want you to, when you meet with your students on day 1 or in your online class, you must explain to them what your expectations are for the class. And you should explain to them that those expectations are very high, that you're not going to let them just kind of halfway do it, right? So the guy that put your irrigation system in, do you want him to do an okay job, or do you want him to do the best job he can do, right? You're not going to hire somebody to do an okay job, right? You're going to hire somebody to do the best job possible. And I always go back to my chemistry courses because that's what I teach. And here's what I tell my students. I'm like, look, this class might not come easy to everybody in the class. That's okay, because I'm here to help you get through it, and I'm here to prepare you for the next class, right? Once they finish Gen Chem, the next class would be organic chemistry. And I'm here to make sure that they're ready to take organic chemistry, whether they take it here at CC or they go to UNC Chapel Hill and take it, right? And so for you guys, I'm going to pick on somebody. Um, Juanita's here this morning. So Juanita teaches nursing. Are you here, Juanita?
Yes.
So do you want, what's a high level expectation for a nursing student? What would be the top level?
For a
What do you
nursing
expect from
student,
them?
the top level would be organizational skills, their listening skills.
And how would they be judged on that at the end? At the end, when they finish a nursing program, how do they get judged? How do you make sure that they've reached that top level?
We're preparing them to take the NCLEX.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right?
And to be
They have a
successful.
standardized board that they have to pass,
Yes.
right? And that's the level, right?
Yeah.
There's no second level for nursing. It's either you
Yeah.
pass the NCLEX or you don't.
Exactly.
And so you expect every student in there to do the work to learn the material that will allow them to get there, right?
Yes. But I
But
have
if they don't do that work, then they won't pass the boards and they won't accomplish their goals, right? And they have to understand that,
right.
okay? All those other things go into passing that board, okay? So, okay? So
Yes.
I think everybody sees kind of the high academic expectations, okay? And the students go, well, I don't know if I can do that. So what do
Right.
you do when they say that? When they say, I don't know if I can do that, what do you say to what do you say to a student when they say, I'm not sure I can pass the state licensing to become an electrician or whatever it is that they want to do?
So
What would you say to any student?
with that student, then I have to really meet them where they're at because I'm trying to get them to the goal of becoming a nurse.
Hmm.
At times, because that way I have to reassess myself. Am I really grew to that student, or and what can I do? If I change something? Sometimes some students like to write, or some like to watch. Depends on how I can reach that student at that time. So really, I reassess myself to see if I can get the student to be 100%.
Yeah, and here's another way to think about it as well. So you're assessing yourself. What about talking to the student and asking them, you know, um, let's take nursing again. Well, did you take the CNA? Have you taken CNA? Yeah, they've taken CNA. Um, did you pass the test for that? Yeah. Okay. So let's think about stepwise as we go up, right?
Mhm.
How do we get the students to that final goal? Because if they start with that final goal in mind, the task often seems daunting, right? Maybe
Right.
instead of becoming a full-blown electrician to start with, they become an electrician's assistant, or I don't even know if that position exists. I assume it does. What if they go and work in the field as an assistant for somebody? It's kind of like a CNA,
Mhm.
and so you think about stepwise in the class. Well, okay, I know you're not ready for organic yet, but can we learn this one task here first? And then we add another task on top of that, and then another task on top of that. And so before long, then you meet with the student again and you say, hey, a couple weeks ago when you didn't think you could do this, look at what you've done in these 2 or 3 weeks,
Mhm.
right? And you kind of build the student up and you show them that they are capable of doing some of this. Now, does this work for every student? No. But for a lot of students, it does because a lot of them lack self-confidence. So
Yes.
um, today, we're going to spend a lot. Falling forward is a term that comes to mind. Yeah, that's a great
Yes.
term, Chris. Chris, you want to explain falling forward?
Just that it's okay to try new things, and it's better to fall forward or fail forward rather than like something not work out and you take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of young people, I know I was like this, you're afraid to fail because you don't see the benefit in it, but failure tells you something too, right? It either says you didn't try hard enough, or maybe this isn't for you and you need to do something different, right? So it's totally okay to do that. And it's
Mhm.
okay to have those conversations with students that don't do well when they're first starting out. Now, as they move through a class or a course, then if they continue to not do well, then you have to have that serious conversation. Okay, like I have some students that come to me and they think they're going to be a physician's assistant or a doctor. And I'm like, okay, you can't do chemistry and you're not very good at biology. Maybe we need to think about something else. Let's find what your strength, where your strength lies. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
you're not smart. It just means maybe you need to do something else with your abilities, right?
Mhm.
So those are those are tough conversations to have with students, and the reason is, as Dean Byington will talk to you guys, they've often been advised by family and friends that, oh, you should do this or you should do that, but they don't
Mhm.
really understand what's involved in getting to that point. And so we as instructors that see these students all the time need to start to help them recognize their strengths and find their abilities and their place. But that's part of being an academic supporter, right?
Right.
So in today's sessions, we're going to spend a lot of time, or I'm not going to do it. We have lots of people that are going to meet with you guys today. They're going to talk about all the different ways that we support our students at CC, and that you guys can access these things. You can put students in touch with them, and you can see all the ways that we have to support our students. Because um, most of us, or a lot of us, went to universities or went to colleges where the faculty, they were imparting information to you on a continuous basis. That's not what we try to do anymore. We have information, we do give that to the students, but we also recognize that our students face lots of challenges both in the classroom and outside the classroom that may not have ever seen before. So, um, and we have lots of ways to help support them. And so we're bringing at 11 at let's see. So right now we're going to bring in VP Hoyle and some of his student service people that are going to talk to you about what student services does at the college and how you guys can use them to help support your students. So um, I'm going to let VP Hoyle take it away because I saw him come in a few minutes ago.
All right. Thank you, Rodney. And let me say welcome to all of you here to Central Carolina Community College. I'm a veteran employee, and I can tell you that it is a wonderful place to spend your career, as I have done. I know, we've got folks who've done other things and have kind of migrated into higher education, which is wonderful. But I have greatly benefited myself from coming out here straight out of graduate school and kind of growing up on the campus, because I've learned as much from our students as I have learned um, from my classroom work. So, come out here with an open mind and be willing to learn like we tell our students to do. And I know you're going to grow and prosper and develop as a professional in higher ed. So we're glad to have you here. I am Ken Hoyle. I'm the VP over Student Services, which is a very large division which covers all three campuses. We have a presence everywhere. Our departments include recruiting and outreach, admissions, records and registration, financial aid, VA benefits, student activity, athletics, library services, and security. So we touch everything a student experiences from the moment he or she first makes contact with the college up until we give them a diploma at graduation, because we're in charge of the graduation ceremony itself. So we start at the beginning and we stay with them the whole time, like Rodney was talking about. We have so many support programs in place. And then we kind of close the loop with graduation and have the diplomas printed for them and mail them off to them. So that's the fun part of our job. Now, as a faculty member, you may need student services for various things. Number one, it could be your attendance and record keeping in your class, your rosters, putting in your grades, questions about transfer credits that your students may have or may speak with you about as an advisor, or if you do have advising issues, these are things that you'd want to speak with our registrar's office about. If you're in a curriculum that has competitive admissions policy, where it's a high demand program, but we only have so many slots where we can let people in, you'd want to work with the admissions counselor assigned to your curriculum over in admissions, and with Adam Wade, who's our director of admissions, and get to know him well. If you have students that have questions about their VA benefits or their financial aid benefits or things like child care or student loans or whatever, that's where you'd want to refer them over here to our financial aid office. And as a faculty member, you'd want to speak with the director of library services if you have need or help in your classroom with academic resources, or students needing assistance with our databases or other materials that support what you're doing in the classroom with your instruction. And if you have students who have questions about the athletics, student life, or our student ambassador program, or you need help, or you have a program going on and you would need the student ambassadors to help you with that, of course, you'd come to us for that as well. And another thing that is very important for you to know as a faculty member would be about the student safety and behavior issues with security. We have a student code of conduct. It is in the policy and procedures manual. It's online. It's in the college catalog. I encourage all of you to read it from top to bottom, to be familiar with it, because it applies to all students, either in curriculum or in continuing education. And it is our charge to enforce the student code of conduct so you can do your job as an instructor. And if someone were to do something that is disruptive, that violates the code of conduct, of course, call security, which is headed up by Frank Badeau or one of his staff members. If you're on the Harnett campus, we have security there, as well as the campus provost, John Matthews. And in Chatham, it is Mark Hall, who's the provost there. They assist me with student discipline issues throughout the college service area. And then we kind of take it from there. There is something that you also need to be aware of as a faculty member and as an employee. If we were to have an emergency or a crisis, if you're on a PC, the PC is taken over by a program called Alertus to tell you what you need to do at that moment. Or I would strongly encourage you to sign up for the Cougar Alerts, where you get a text or an email sent to you, and you go to the intranet and you can sign up for Cougar Alerts to be told, hey, it's snowing, we're going to close the school at 1 o'clock, or there's an emergency on campus, please lock your door, what have you. And the other thing that you might need to know about from that standpoint, we have what is called a behavioral assessment team, the BAT team. These are things that can be referred to the BAT team that are not a violation of the code of conduct, but you have a concern as a faculty member. If you're reading a paper and a person is putting things to paper that are concerning, that you think, this guy might need some help, or this guy may present an issue further down the road, that would need to be referred to the BAT team. And we take a look at things and develop a plan if this is something that just needs to be monitored, or if we need to take proactive action on. And students can make referrals to that as well. As a faculty member, if you're observing behavior with a student in one of your class that you're uncomfortable with, and they haven't broken the code of conduct, but there's just you're concerned about them as an individual, or you think that they may present an issue, let's be proactive. That's the point of the BAT team. Go ahead, and it never hurts to make a referral. And then you can find that on the webpage under CC Cares. I think Adam has put that in the chat link over there. So we have a lot of programs. We have a lot of departments. As I say, we are here to help you. We fully understand that students are coming here to get their credential, whether it's a certificate, diploma, or degree. And we are here to support you, to instruct them in your curriculum, to make them successful so they can meet their educational goals. So whether it's in the very beginning, all the way to graduation, reach out to us. We're happy to help any way along the step there. So I'll turn things back over to Rodney, and he can direct us from here, but I'm here on the Sanford campus. Email me, call me, get in touch with my staff, whatever we need to do, but we want to make you successful so you can make our students successful. So welcome, we're glad to have you.
Thank you, VP Hoyle. I guess we'll just go down the list that we have listed, or people that I see in the participants list. So kind of Ken's right-hand person that handles lots of things within his division is Dean Heather Willett. And I don't even pretend to know all she does, so I'll let her introduce herself and tell you about what she does.
Well, good morning and welcome to Central Carolina Community College. Looking forward to meeting each of you. I'm Heather Willett. I'm the Dean of Student Support Services, and I am over several of the areas that VP Hoyle mentioned earlier. It includes the student onboarding and outreach, financial aid, Veterans Affairs, our accessibility services, which you're getting ready to hear a little bit more about from Megan Sherman. She's doing a great job with that. I'm also over our athletic programs, our student activities, K-14, college access, and I'm also the Title IX coordinator for the college. So you will be hearing more about Title IX as well down the road. I do also assist VP Hoyle with things when he is not available, such as student code of conduct. So if you're not able to reach VP Hoyle on any kind of question on student code of conduct, I will be more than happy to help if I can. And you will be hearing from many more of my staff members throughout your orientation sessions. So I'm going to let them speak for themselves and share more information about their specific programs. But please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions on any program or any area of student services. If I don't have the answer, I will definitely let you know. And I look forward to getting to know each of you throughout the year. So, Rodney, take it on.
Thank you, Heather.
Sure.
I guess next we'll go to the newly minted Director of Financial Aid. She's been working financial aid for several years. I don't know exactly how long, but she's now been named the Director of Financial Aid. Amber Workheiser.
Good morning. How is everyone today? Yes, as Dr. Powell said, I am Amber Werkheiser. I just started as director in the financial aid office on July the 1st. Financial aid, like VP Hoyle said, is part of student services. We serve students with FAFSA needs, awarding. We disperse their funds to them for their tuition and their books, and we also release refunds to students. We also host events that help students learn about financial literacy and financial aid programs that we offer here. We are housed on the Lee campus, but we do service all other campuses as well. We have individuals who visit the Harnett and Chatham campus, and we go to other campus events as needed. So we are excited to be here to help students and also answer any questions that you have from us. You can always contact us. We're available virtually and in person, so we're here and happy to help in any way we can.
Thank you, Amber. And if you guys have questions for them as they're talking, feel free to either raise your hand or type it in the chat box, and I'll kind of moderate it as well. So I know financial aid is one of the areas that even, I mean, as long as I've been here, I still don't feel comfortable answering lots of student questions. And so I often refer them directly to Amber, because Amber and I have been working together on some stuff for a few years. And so it also often helps to have at least one person that you know well in each area like that, so that you can refer people to them. So who's next? I guess, well, I see Kelvin is here. So good morning, Kelvin. Kelvin Hunt is our director of, I don't even remember his title. He's student outreach, student recruiting. I don't remember exactly what he's a recruiter, right? You run our recruiting program.
There you go. Good morning, everyone. Kelvin Hunt, Director of Student Onboarding and Outreach / Recruiting, as Dr. Powell said. I was supposed to meet you guys yesterday for the campus tour, but unfortunately we had to move that to a virtual session. So if you had a chance to see that, you've met my other team, parts of my team, Ren Crow and Stephanie Whitaker. But basically, we're responsible for all new student enrollment at the college. So basically, we're the face of the college. We help students get through the steps of admission, and kind of hand those students off to our admissions counselors to be registered. So then you guys can teach them. So, we do all of the campus tours. We're stationed here on the Lee campus, but we do tours on all 3 of our campuses, as well as going to the high schools, community events, churches, organizations, industry, you name it. If it has to do with the community, we try to be there. So there may be some times where, hopefully this is not the case, but you may have some low enrollment in your programs. So if that's the case, feel free to reach out and we can sit down and work out some ways to see if we can increase enrollment in your programs, and things of that nature. So welcome aboard. We look forward to working with you, and hopefully you have a good start to your semester.
Thank you, Kelvin. Oh, I skipped over Adam. Adam's at the very top of the list, and I never actually introduced him. So sorry, Adam. Adam Wade is our director of admissions, and you guys will get to meet him a little bit more later on today. But I think right now you're going to talk to him about admissions, right? And how they can interact with admissions.
Sure. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Adam. I serve as Director of Admissions, and I'm going to put our website in the chat here. There's lots of fun information there for you to peruse, but admissions really handles, one of our biggest responsibilities is working with brand new students as they're enrolling and their first semester advising and registration process. We handle that entire process. We also oversee placement testing, new student orientation, competitive programs. We're located on all 3 campuses. So here on the Lee campus, we're in the Bell Welcome Center, and then in Chatham and Harnett, we're sort of in your main building there. So in Harnett, we're located in the Mariello. There's a student services suite that we're located in, along with financial aid, veterans affairs, student accessibility services, and others. And then on the Chatham campus, we're located in building 41, right across from the main office. So we have staff on every campus. If you check out our website, you'll be able to see that our advisors or admission specialists will advise for certain programs, either by last name or by county, and so that's all divided there. We are currently still working with students virtually, in person. Students can make appointments with us. A couple of things that you probably need to know is that we assist students if they need to ever change their major. Or if, I put the wrong website in there, if they need to change their major or if they need to withdraw from a course. So if you're ever working with students and you determine that through your advising process or as you work with students, you determine that they need to change their major or they need to withdraw from a course, please connect them back with their admissions specialist according to their major, according to their last name, and we'd be happy to assist them through that process. So I think that's about all for us. I put a couple websites in the chat box there. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me at any point. Be happy to help. Thanks, Rodney.
Thank you, Adam. Yeah, I think one of the things he said that a lot of new faculty are often confused about is that if you have students in your course that once the course starts and they decide that they want to drop the course, that you theoretically can go in and drop them, but they really should go to admissions to discuss dropping the course. We'll talk about attendance and why you should drop students, but normally if a student is going to drop a course, they would go to the admissions office to drop the course. So, and that's not uncommon, but they often ask, how do I drop a course, or where do I drop a course? And that's once the semester starts, that's where they go for that kind of thing. So, who else is on our list? I have to look back and see. Oh, our registrar is here. Dean Jamie Childress is our registrar, and so she heads up all of our student record keeping and registration and all the tedious detail stuff. So, and they're in the midst of doing summer graduation right now. So, which will be Monday, is that right?
That is
That's Monday.
correct. It'll be Monday.
Okay. Good.
So welcome everyone. I am Jamie Childress. Like VP Hoyle, I am a veteran, maybe not quite as high a veteran status, but not quite the number of years, but I'm rapidly approaching. So like you, I started as a faculty member here at the college and did that for about a dozen years, and I've been in this role for over a decade now. We're hitting our 11th year here. You may have heard Adam share with you that they help with new student registration, and when a student withdraws from a class. We're a little bit odd on our naming convention here at the college. So while I'm the registrar, it's actually my office that processes all admissions applications, while Adam's team actually then registers the student. I know it's confusing, sorry. But that is what it is. Right now, we've got 8 folks here to assist. A lot of times you don't reach out to us until there's a hiccup. So we are certainly here to help with a hiccup or a full-fledged burp, whatever it may be. We'll get you straightened out and get the student through that challenging moment. There's a lot of information on our website. I just shared that in the chat box. You can find the students' rights are listed there. Also, a lot of policies related to students are listed there. The appeal process for any grading for students is listed there. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act information is listed there. Remember, we do not speak with mom or dad without students' permission, and we have to have that in writing. We keep that housed in this office. We kind of like to protect you as faculty and from those helicopter moms or lawnmower dads. And so you can always check with us if we have a FERPA on file. But even with a FERPA release document, it doesn't mean that we share everything. So we never share grades over the phone. Students can actually access their grades either through WebAdvisor, Aviso, or Blackboard. And if they want mom or dad to know, they can share those login credentials so that mom and dad can see. We handle all of graduation. And as you're advising students, when you use our database to make sure that the course actually meets the degree requirements, we have a process known as degree audit that is also used by financial aid. So if you register a student for a course and the course doesn't show up fulfilling the requirement, you need to give us a call, because it's a manual process to force that in to their required block. And it has to be forced for financial aid to cover that course. and for it to be eligible for financial aid. So that's another reason you'll reach out to us. There are 3 of us in our office who can handle that. We handle all tuition waivers through this office. So any type of military, either active duty or military dependent waiver, that goes through here. Also, employment sponsorship waivers go through here. So be aware if a student's having an issue with their residency, while we can't necessarily say, yes, you're in state, we may be able to find a way to reduce their tuition costs to in-state rates. We handle all transcript evaluations through this office. So that includes high school transcript evaluation to ensure that students can enter into their gateway courses of math or English, or if they need a supplemental course or a little more prep work. We also evaluate all college transcripts, joint services transcripts. We have lots of types of alternative credit, such as credit by experience, credit by exam. We are now doing some Con Ed to curriculum credit as well. So any of those things that you have questions about, we are happy to help. Those are also outlined in your policy and procedure manual. They should be on our website, and they should be in your handbook. Other than that, we're here to assist. Please just let us know. Rodney will probably tell you, you don't want to be on one of my lists. I do send out list about whether or not I have your attendance, because that determines whether or not we can get funding for the student and whether or not financial aid can be awarded to the student. And then I also send out lists when we need grades submitted. We have deadlines for grades the day after the course because all of our processes are done in batch. So even if we're missing 2 students out of 1 class, we have to get those grades submitted before we can actually start probation, suspension, financial aid, satisfactory academic progress, or graduation. So, and those are all a several day process. So, I'm not really the bad guy, I'm just the messenger, okay? If you've got any questions though, we're here to help, and welcome. Glad to have you. Thanks.
Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, and so a lot of what the registrar's office does as a faculty member that you will see, we said earlier, if a student withdraws from a course and they go to see Adam's people or Adam, and they get withdrawn from a course because of financial aid issues mostly, but for our own record keeping as well, we then need to enter in what was the last day that they actually participated in this course. And so one of the things that the registrar's office does for the record keeping is they send out lists of students every week. And so if you have students that were withdrawn within the last week, you'll get that list and you have to reply and say, yeah, this student was here on this date, and that was the last day they participated in the course. So just know that, and we'll talk more about attendance. Not today, but next week, and why it's so important, and that keeping track of that. But those will come from Jamie. Those emails will come from Jamie or one of the people in the registrar's office. I know there's lots of information in this session from financial aid, registrar, admissions. The longer you are with the college, the more you'll learn people that work in these different areas, and you'll learn that having at least one contact in lots of these places can be very helpful and very useful. And you'll have your go-to person in each one of those probably. And it hopefully will be different for everybody. That way one person doesn't get overwhelmed, but they do have a division of labor, but they also are all really good. And so if you call and ask or email or Google chat, they often respond and will help you with whatever you need to have done. So does anybody have any questions about any of the areas under that we just talked about this morning? Because we can, if not, we'll take a break until around 11 o'clock when Megan Sherman will be here to talk very specifically about student accessibility in your courses. So any questions about registrar, financial aid, anything under student services this morning? No? Thank you, VP Hoyle. Thank you for coming this morning, spending some time with us. And seems like there's no questions. So guys, we'll take a break until 11 o'clock, and then we will meet with Megan Sherman at 11. So see you guys in a little bit. Thanks, Kelvin. Kelvin, I'm going to call you in just a minute.